Hello and welcome to a rain-hit Shanghai International Circuit for the second round of Season 16 in the STB Racing League World Championship. Now, this a track that I hate, a track which I think offers no real opportunities for overtaking, and some drivers are the same. My co-commentator Rigsy X thinks that it's a great circuit. Rigsy, how are you doing today? And explain your reasoning for loving such a boring circuit.
Thanks for the introduction, Maldy. Great to be back once again for another race in the STB League. I mean, I really enjoy China. I think China's got plenty of opportunities for overtaking. I mean, obviously, I'm on board with Buckley now, and he's just about to come out of the big kilometre straight. And I'm assuming at the end of this straight into the hairpin, that's probably like the prime overtaking opportunity when it comes to race day.
Yeah, that's really the only real one in my opinion.
If you can get a really good run out of the final turn, you can maybe get a run into turn 1, same into turn 5 into the second sector, and if you're really ambitious, you can maybe get a overtake made into turn 12, which is just before the big straight. But I mean, I would assume that people would not really kind of chance their arm there with an overtake because they'll just get it in the straight anyway. But no, I really enjoy China. I mean, when I watch league racing in China, when I actually compete in China, I always feel like I go quite well. I mean, that might be a bit biased, but I always feel like I'd feel quite good running this circuit. And even in real life, I think the races here are actually really great, interesting, strategic, and especially with the rain, it can throw up a lot of different strategy if it stays the way it is.
I love to agree with you, Rigsy, but I just can't.
I mean,
Shanghai, really
we can agree to disagree on that one, but I mean, I've got reasonings, but either or.
Wow, Rigsy. Even though China may be a boring race for some, Bahrain offered some incredible battles. Take us through your best moments and your best memories from last week's Bahrain.
I genuinely don't even know where to begin, because it was just constant battling, jostling for position. Like, drivers were out there trying to kind of get their mark made early on in this season. We were discussing the fact that this is a shortened season, so there's only, I think we said it was 16 races. You were clearing that up for me last time at Maltese for this season.
Yes,
so I think drivers are just kind of trying to get some points on the board. Driving the Ferrari last time out, Danny was so close to his first win in the STB League. Himself and Bruno Will made contact on the final lap, and it went pear-shaped for the pair of them. But I'm actually quite interested to kind of see how drivers I'm trying to look through the board to see if I can see him. Like Ron Parr, there he's at 14 for doing the racing point. He was leading in Bahrain for the first few laps, and then got a wee bit too much curb. Toxic Fusion hit into the side, and I'm looking forward to see how those two kind of react to this. And
I mean, put down as a racing incident, so we're gonna have to move on. What did you?
I think I would agree with that.
Oh yeah, you agree with the racing incident. I was about to ask you. But we're currently, as you said, the rain could really spice things up. We're currently in 12 seconds to go in qualifying, and it's intermediate conditions. It looks like. Yao Pedro returning to the league here this evening as a reserve driver. The new driver that we've got here this evening is BRL Perondi. He has taken Gagaman's seat at McLaren. So yeah, he's going to be a full-time driver, and Fusion goes P1. But it's great to have both Yao Pedro and Perondi back. It's been quite a while since we've had Perondi now. So it's been a long time since we've had them. I'm really looking forward to for McLaren.
Definitely. We get to see how it goes.
The McLaren team, which is Eke Perondi, they're definitely favourites for the championship.
Well, McLaren got off to a good last time out in was Eki who took a win for P6. We were discussing in the qualifying last week that he was kind of like a shout-in for the one, but he did say if in the post-race qualifying wasn't his best, he still managed to take 25 points come the end of the day. So he'll be looking to try and add to that and make it 2 for 2. And he is currently pole at the minute, early on in the session. But if there's one thing I'm noticing, Maldi, there is a real split in strategy here, because the fastest times are settled intermediates, but the mediums aren't exactly slow. So this session's going to go in the next 11 minutes. I don't know if we're going to expect it to be drier, because you've got people like Jam Hani and Libero on mediums and put their times in on mediums, and then I've just seen Jam Ham change his from mediums to wets, and then Eki Toxic Fusion is at the top there on inners. So I think they're driving to find their feet early on in the session. There is still just over 10 minutes left in this session to try and get a time in. They will most likely, if they're out the new, they'll get 2 runs at the least. So I think early on in this session, just trying to kind of get to grips with their setup, getting to grips with the track, trying to find where the grip is, trying to find their reference points. So I'll not be expecting less sometimes at this moment in time.
As well, I think, with them, because not many drivers actually like the circuit, so it's hard to get a room. So I'm so negative about China, but it's very difficult to find motivation to get the times in when you don't like the circuit. I think Riggsy personally, Russia is a better circuit than China. That's what I personally think. But
see, I would have to say the opposite, to be fair. I like it. It just doesn't suit me, but I mean, I think that's just kind of maybe like how I feel about Russia and what I expect to Russia. It just doesn't really suit my taste.
Pedro,
for China, it'll suit you.
Bruno P1, so it looks like the track is getting faster on these intermediates, so it might take him to have a very good lap. Bruno Will's gone P1 at 141.1 in his Renault. Just take us a few races, Riggsy, to distinguish who's in what car. Pirandi's on a lap then, sorry. DR racing board. He's on now lap 2, ready to prepare for his lap.
I mean, I think in China, like, I think like drivers will try and like obviously like start early, but I think with the way it's looking, like I'm just kind of like looking to see who's on laps, outlets. It's just basically out the track, and it looks quite slippy. It looks quite greasy at the minute, but there's a bit in there that says it's going to get drier. So I think if it's going to get drier, because you're seeing people who are like sitting in the pit lane at the minute, you've got DJ Dan who's in the pits on soft tyres, you've got Libero who's actually out on track on soft tyres, you've got Dominic who's got soft tyres set on his car as well, but he's in the pits. So I don't know if they're maybe anticipating a dry line coming really late on in the session, and if there is, you're going to have to make sure you're on the right tyres at the right time.
Sorry, Riggsy,
João Pedro.
João Pedro has spun out of qualifying, he's spun out of the corner, so it looks like it's either the intermediates or his traction is going off. It's one of the two, but that's still decent though. He's in P3, so he's still got a good showing here in China. I was about to say Portugal then. Jamham then.
F1's still been to Portugal in some time. I think the last race there was 96.
Jamham, you're never 23. Jamham then.
What was it?
You're never 23, are you?
Oh, Jamham. I'm quite an old man nowadays. I went old geezer when it comes to this. Aye.
Jamham then. A fraction quicker in the second lap here. P5 at the moment on a set of intermediates. I bet his traction is much better.
Jamham will be looking at the demons of Bahrain behind them. It's another driver I'm kind of looking forward to seeing in this race, because he didn't score any points last time out in Bahrain. He had an incident coming out the final turn quite late on in the race, and he just retired the car for there. But he is sitting 7th at the moment, and he is about to cross the line to see if he improves. He sits 7th, he lost 210 on his lap there on that final sector. But no, I'm looking forward to Jamham can realise where his pace in comparison to the rest of the grid. because
Danny,
he'll definitely
sorry.
be looking to try and get his cell on the board.
Definitely. Danny's up in P8. I'll tell you, see, DJ Danny, okay, if we look at his Bahrain performance, up to the final lap, he's driver of the season so far. One race in, he's driver of the season. If the season was one race for Rigsy, he would get that prize. What made DJ Danny's DJ so special in Bahrain, do you think?
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, DJ Danny is like a really quick driver. Like, he has warranted his place in the STB league. He has shown that he is able to match the pace of people at the front, and he is punching above his weight every time he gets into that car. But Barry was probably the best performance I've seen for him since I started commentating in this league, because he started on the hard tyres, he went longer into the first stint. The safety car came out, I mean, it kind of gave him a great helping hand, but I mean, he kind of got a nice stroke of luck for it, made a pit stop, and he was sitting about 5th or 6th on the restart, because the safety car just came out, and that helped his pit stop. He managed to get himself up to second, but him and Maurice managed to gain under the safety car on the restart, and he was able just to keep second place, and Maurice had a penalty as well, so it was just a matter of just keeping the car out of the barrier. But come the final lap, it just kind of went pear-shaped for him. But as you said, Maldi, he has definitely been a standout driver in the first race of this season, and he is definitely going to be here showing that that is the one-trick pony. That he's here to show is that he is here for the season, and I hope that momentum kind of follows him into China and gets him some points on the board after the unfortunate circumstances that he experienced on the final lap.
Definitely. Urban Unicorn then, he's coming on to he's actually on a decent lap here in China. He goes up in the P4, 145.0. He puts himself quite up there, but Bruno will, what a great effort from him there. 144.1. That's a great effort there from the Brazilian.
He's sitting 3 tenths faster than Eke there, who's sits in P2 at the moment. It's McLaren 2-3. Urban Unicorns, we just discussed there, place up to 4th. Toxic Fusion is trying to like kind of put his demons in Bahrain behind him as well. He's up into 5th. Hopefully he can turn his anger into some race pace. If he is still fear of that incident, but put that behind us. Jal Pedro up in P6. Buckley's just coming out the pits for his final run in P7. Jamham in the Haas in 8th, Kyle in the Racing Point is P9, and Mercury is in the Mercedes, and he rounds out the top 10 at the present moment. We're just short of 4 minutes left in this session, and it looks like drivers are coming out to put a lap on intermediate tyres, so the track hasn't really dried up. There's not been a dry line forming, so I think intermediates is the kind of main commitment for most of the drivers. Ronha is out on the mediums though, so maybe he could throw the cat amongst the pigeons in these final minutes. But I mean, I'm watching him taking the final turn. It was actually not that bad. He's getting really bad throttle output though when he's exiting the corners.
Danny.
So I think. And Danny puts himself up to 4th with that lap.
Have a look at that. What an effort there from the Red Bull. He I'll tell you something, Rigsy. I think not too bad. Not too bad lap there from DJ Danny. Churka then is on his out lap. Domi, who had a great showman in Bahrain recently, let's not forget that. I think he got P4 in the end. What a performance that was from Toro Rosso driver. Libero or Libera, I don't know. He had a decent showing. He was quite lonely, wasn't he, last time out?
I was just one just kind of racing at his own pace. Like, I mean, he wasn't really that troubled. It was just a quiet race over Bahrain, and João Pedro's left the session. We'll try and get him back in before the session ends in these final 2 minutes. But Labiel just had a quiet race out in Bahrain, just kind of kept his nose clean, just kept quiet. And he's hoping for probably more of the same. But one driver that's at a bit of risk here is Dominic. Yet to put in a time, he's coming through turn 12 at the minute, and Urban Unicorns retired, so he'll be improving to P6. So 6 is the best that he's possibly going to get in these final 2 minutes. But back to Dominic. He's just coming down the final, the big straight, and he is getting ready for his final outlap. And what's dangerous with this is if he abuses track limits or gets a corner cutting, that's his lap invalidated, and he will be starting at the back. So this is a crucial lap for Dominic, and he has put a lot of pressure on himself. All the other drivers were out there getting a feel for the track, seeing if it was medium, seeing if it was soft, seeing if it was inters, and did he see that Red Bull at once? So I think it's a very all or nothing move here for the season 15 champion so early on in the season. But he is going to run turn 1, making sure that he doesn't get too much understeer around the first 2 corners. Seems to be quite tidy. I'm riding on board for him for the entry of turn 3.
Yeah,
looks a bit tidy, shifted. He's very slow on the exit. It looks so slow, but that could be quick to people driving in the wet. So he is going to come through the first sector delta time. It's a 27.0. We can't tell if he's improved, obviously, because he's not put in a lap yet. But through turn 5, very smooth.
He definitely looks up there.
Had a wee bit of slide. He's had a wee bit of slide there.
Bruno always done the same first sector on his lap.
Bruno's well done the same sector, so Dominic is looking to be at the front with the way this lap's gone. The lap looks very smooth so far, very delicate use of the throttle through the sweeping second sector. He's about to cross the second sector delta time at the minute, and it's a 59.4 as the checkered flag for the session is about to be waved. Now there's only 3 minutes left to complete the final lap, so whoever's got the checkered flag that's their name, their laps will not be improved. And Dominic, it's a big slide there for the season 15 champion through turn 12. Just put a wee bit too much throttle on and the car's chucked his cell into a half spin. Hopefully that's not lost too much time. He'll probably have lost a couple of tenths for that, but he is about to come through the hairpin, second to last turn. Takes a wee bit of curb on the inside, again a wee bit of rushed right foot there onto the throttle, takes the final turn, and he's went really slow there. He was trying to avoid a corner cutting warning, and that puts him only 9th.
Only P9.
A very cautious lap there by Dominic.
Bruno will. DJ Danny. Rigsy. DJ Danny up in a P2 here in China.
He's definitely not looking like a one-trick pony. Let's see who else is on a lap.
Rigsy, which we're supposed to have been interviewing. So we're going to quickly get him in for a quick interview.
There's a full day between qualifying and race day, so we'll have hopefully get a wee minute there to talk to him. But we're going to watch Eke. I'm on board with Eke through the final hairpin there. He's about to come up to the final turn. He was improving by a few hundredths of a second, but that'll not put him up the grid much. Maybe P4 if he improves.
Fuming right now.
Oh.
He must be absolutely livid.
And Toxic
I'm actually
Fusion.
very happy with that.
Eke, P2, P3 so far. Who else is on a lap? I think that's
Gravity's crashed it in the middle of the circuit. That's not good for him. TMR Carter then. TMR Carter rather.
He's not improving.
That's
not improving there. He'll start 16th at best.
We'll interview you in the loading screens for the formation lap.
Yeah.
Okay, Rigsy, we need to make sure that Danny can get onto his formation lap. So we're going to quickly go through the grid. What a qualifying session that was in his second race in returning to the STB Racing League. By 5 tenths of a second, your pole sitter is BRL Bruno Will. Second is Toxic Fusion. Third is Eke. Fourth, his best qualifying in STB. He's had a great fortnight recently. Fourth is DJ Danny. Fifth, BRL Perondi. Sixth, BRL Yao Pedro. Seventh is Ham Jam. Eighth is Churkin. Ninth is Buckley. This is named for him. 10th, Ron Hart. 11th is Dominic. 12th, Urban Unicorn. 13th, Jam Ham. 14th, Gravity. 15th, Kyle. 16th, Catter. 17th is Mercury. That's a disappointing result from him. 18th is Libero. And 19th, after such a great debut race in Australia, in Bahrain rather, it's okay. Danny, make sure you got your audio included. We're going to give you a quick interview. We can get back on to the formation now. So Bahrain, Danny, you had a great strategy in Bahrain. You used the safety car to your advantage, and you start in your best qualifying position to date in STB. How are you feeling ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix? And do you think a podium could potentially be on the cards this evening?
I think just try and
get some good points. Obviously, Bahrain was it was a good race for me. I felt my pace has improved a lot over obviously pre-season and that. But I think just to maintain positioning, keep in the up with the top guys will be a good thing, really. So just keep it clean into turn 1 and go from there. Not try and do anything silly or anything like that. Just try and keep it clean.
Okay, thank you, Danny, and good luck for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Thank you very much.
And stay safe. Rixie. So then, we are talking about safety here in China, and obviously China is known for its the epidemic this week in terms of the virus. But Rixie, what we can say about China is it's a very special industrial country. It's got a lot of it's a very industrial country.
It's quite advanced. I mean, its recent history has kind of made itself an industrial powerhouse in recent times, like probably like late 80s, early 90s, all the way through to the now. Also, like they kind of branch out into like basically off fields, and in this case, it's motor racing. They wanted to get a wee piece of the fun pie, and here they are. We've been coming to Shanghai since 2004, so it will be coming. Well, I was going to say coming 2020, but we're not going there in real life this year.
Yes.
But
16 years.
this is. It's been quite a regular in the 21st
I didn't
century.
realise it was 16 years since Bahrain and China. I didn't realise that.
They both come on the calendar at the same time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But China's had
But
a lot more races, I think.
But I definitely like it was just like a matter of marketisation and industrialisation, and now they've just got to sell into motor racing. But while we can sit and talk about that, we are watching the drivers weaving left and
Warming
right,
up
getting
their
some
tyres.
temperature into their tyres, getting the brakes, checking the gears, doing the works, and hopefully we can see some clean wheel-to-wheel action through these first couple of turns, because it's really tight, really twisty.
I'm ready. We are. Are you ready, Riggsy, for the Chinese Grand Prix round 2 of the season? It's looking to be a cracker. Danny is up there in P4. We are really looking forward to see DJ Danny's progress in this race.
Really interested to see the likes of people in the midfield as well. You've got Dominic, who kind of banked on a final one-lap run from their P11. Urban Unicorn, Jamham, Haas teammates 12th to 13th. They'll be looking to get themselves up the grid. Buckland P9 as well. Qatar Mercury 16th and 17th.
Okay.
Dominic the back, but here we go.
Riggsy, are you ready for China? Who's going to win?
Absolutely no idea. No banking on it.
Here we go.
But we are about to see the lights
Five
going
lights.
off, and they are out of their grid slots here, and it looks like a great start.
Fusion's ready, got the jump off. Fusion's ready, got the jump down into turn number 1. Here we go on the inside. You've got the McLaren of Eke. BRL Perondi there trying to get involved in them. The Williams is banned. There's been a collision. There's been a collision down in the back of the field. Who is that? That is BRL Yao Pedro there down back of the field. Collision with his fellow countryman. Ron Har has been involved in that. Front wing damage there. Eke's got position on Fusion. Fusion's back up the inside. No, he's not. But he is back up the inside now. No. So it's all concertina effect down there into turn 4, I think that was. But that's an incredible start there from Buckley. He's up in the P7. Riggsy Church up in the P6. Danny down to P5. But that is still a great start from him. Riggsy, what are you seeing at the back? Paul there from Yao Pedro.
Cars are kind of trailing at the back there. They're going to go up in some incidents at the front. But the big winners off that start was
Buckley, sorry, Buckley's up the
places.
inside. Sorry, Riggsy. Buckley up the inside of Churka and Buckley there for P number 6. Buckley's going to try ride it all the way around the outside of the Ferrari, all the way
and
around
they're going to go
outside.
side by side. And does the Toro Rosso make it stick? It does. They're getting. Buckley's got an edge.
Circuit there.
Shark will be diving to the inside, but back to that. Our big winners off that start was Urban Unicorn P12 to P8, Domi P19 to P14, big gains after start. João Pedro, it says he's third, even though it was last 2 minutes ago, but maybe that was just a bit of desync there, but big losers after the start. Ham Jams went down for P7 to 11, and Ron Hars went for
Wiggsy, sorry.
P10 to P19.
I keep cutting you off, but Echo's around the outside of Bruno, Will.
Eke looking around the outside of turn 2, there's no option there for an overtake.
He's definitely going, Wiggsy, for his charge up to the back. Sorry, I swear it said João Pedro span.
I've definitely seen his name dropping for P3 to the back of the field, and he was driving around the back of the field.
So what's happening?
It could just be a desync issue on his part. He looks very like his connection looks very shaky at the minute. He looks like he's literally on the inside of Eke and Dominic, Eke and Pedro have come together, and João Pedro's just being slammed about there on that. I think at least 3 cars hit him there on the turn 9-10 double left, but now João Pedro's at the back, he's P18, so I think it just must be a deep issue there on his part, but now he's back up to P3 again, so I don't honestly know 100% what's happening there, but we'll need to just see how it goes. He is defending for Perondi, apologies for butchering your name, pal. But he makes a move around the outside it in the hairpin. And Toxic Fusion P5, he started P2, he's lost 3 places after start. Hamjam's losing even more places, he's went from P7 to P12, now done 5. Any other Mercury P17 to P13, he's gained 4. Quite like, I mean, it has definitely been a shake up for the start, but only real big winners were Urban Unicorn, Mercury and Domi who have gained the most, and big losers was Ron Har, obviously with his incident in the first lap, and Hamjam who's lost 5 places on lap 3 of 28, but there is still another 25 laps of this race left to go, so there will be plenty of opportunities to regain the places that they've lost so early on in this race.
I thought it was Pedro that crashed, to be honest.
I know his Williams did crash on as soon as like the lights went out. I was trying to flick through to the front, and then all I seen was his Williams just gone to the left and onto the grass, and it just sat there. And I was like, oh, maybe he's just had a wee bit of an incident with somebody right off the start, and it's just tucked away to the grass. And then all of a sudden, I seen Ron Hart spinning, and he was caught up in an incident on the exit of turn 2. And then Pedro was there driving alongside him, and then Pedro lagged back into P3, and I was like, oh alright, I don't know what's happening here, but he's connected. I'm even bubbling it now. He has P4, he's kind of in, he's a second adrift for Perondi, who's in front, and he's got a second gap to Toxic Fusion, who's behind, so he has kind of like in his own kind of element now. Well, I say that as he's just gained 3 tenths, and then he's just lost the 3 tenths again.
Oh,
so,
there's damage! Danny's lost an end plate, I think. Danny's lost an end plate down the straight there. Collision with Buckley. He's going back for the overtake here for P6, but no, he's not going to do that. He's got no end plate either.
Danny's got front right damage on that end plate there. He'll probably have a lot of understeer when it comes to turning left, so he'll be looking to really get that fixed quite soon. But I mean, you'll need to kind of see how his lap times are affected by that. I would assume that he'll lose at least a couple of tenths, and as we're going to see Urban Unicorn have a wee lock up inside of 5. Danny Hodder on the outside there, brilliant defending there, left him just enough room to have the look, but DJ Danny is looking quite slow through these sweeping fast corners. Urban Unicorn definitely just looks like he got more grip at the minute. So I feel like it will just be a matter of time Danny's damaged that Urban Unicorn will make a move. Most likely doing this straight now the DRS is activated as well. Let's see how Bruno Will is going to be performed in this straight without the DRS. Eke is right on the tail end of Bruno Will. Bruno Will immediately got to the inside, trying to break the slipstream, trying to kind of reduce the slipstream effect. And immediately on lap 4 of 28, we're already seeing a pack breaking up here. Like we've got the front 3, and then you've got Toxic Fusion and Pedro going outside into the hairpin. Toxic Fusion makes the move on the inside, takes a bit too much curb. That might be a warning. but Jalpego's got the X through his name there as well, so I'm not sure if he's properly disconnected. Because they say he's left the session on nothing, but he is desyncing quite badly. I'm riding on Bobby Buckley, who is just a second adrift in this battle for P4, and Jalpego makes the move, stick back up, and the end of it is there, he has left the session. His connection's been very, very shaky on this start and on these first 5 laps, Maldy. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll try and get him back in once again. I think he left during qualifying as well, so it might just be a connection issue on his end. But I'm looking to see who's on what tyre as well. Toxic Fusion's on the hard tyre. So Toxic Fusion, Dominic's on the hard tyre, Urban Unicorn's on the hard tyre. They're the only 3 drivers in the top 10 on the hard tyre, so they're looking to go longer on the first stint and aim to be quicker at the end with a set of mediums. So they'll be looking to pit, I'm trying to think, about late teens. I'd say about 16, 17, 18, so they're in for quite a long haul in the first stint. And that will mean that the medium stops will probably come about 13. So we've got a few laps yet before the first kind of pit window opens, so this will be the kind of time to try and get some positions gained and give yourself the best possible opportunity for the final stint. But as we see the 2 Red Bulls going side by side, and Dominic makes the move stick on Danny, and Jalpego's disconnected desync car is just following in the grid now as Urban Unicorn makes his way past. Chucker's going to make his way past the Williams, doing this straight into turn 1. Jamham's there, he'll probably make the move into turn 1 as well. Mercury a wee bit far back, but he'll probably be looking to make the move at least in the first sector. And there we go, there's Jamham going to go through the desync carry Jalpego through the first turn there. But let's see what's happening with this battle at the front. Bruno Will still is our race leader on lap 6 of 28. He started on pole position, so he's no lost out, but he has 2 McLarens in Eke and Parondi for close company on this lap 6 of 28. And Parondi's car on Maskey, I don't know if that's on yours as well, but he looks like he's having a bit of connection issue as well. Either that is just me, so if that's maybe just me experiencing that, or you're getting that as well.
No, not massively.
It's I mean, it's no race ruining, but it's like wee notable twitches. Like it'll kind of lag forward, like maybe like a half a tenth, and then it lags back a half a tenth. He's not like really lagging significantly, like it will cause issue or kind of like damage or anything, but like it's just like small twitches. I don't know if that might just be me, maybe just kind of a bit delusional, but hopefully his connection is 100%, especially since he is in this battle for the lead on lap 6 of 28. But if there's one team that's not had a great start in this race, it's Racing Point. 18th and 19th on lap 7 of 28. No being the start that they were aiming for this race in China.
Sorry, it's all kicking off down here. What's going on down here? Ferrari versus Haas down here in turn number 1. Churko's up the inside of
side by
Jamham,
side.
Jamham's not going to let that go too easily. Churko up the inside, force his way through.
Jam's got the inside for 3, makes a move sticking. He's going to have Mercury there, clipping the heels of the Ferrari into the second sector delta. He'll maybe have a look up the inside. He's got a good run. Let's have a look up the inside. He does. Will he try and outbrake the Ferrari? Kind of break at the same time, but he has the inside, takes a wee bit of curb, but Churka defends perfectly, gives him enough room on the inside there, but he kind of tightens it up on the exit, and Mercury has to back out of that one. And plus Mercury took too much curb, so I mean if he took a bit more curb than that, it could have went pear-shaped for the pair of them there, but luckily both drivers still running with 100% car condition after that. As there's a battle for, as we said, a battle for P13, but that's just Domi overtaking Jalpego's decent car, which I think Jalpego's back now, because I did see his name coming up at the bottom, so he'll probably be jumping control his car.
The DRS should be further up the straight, to be honest.
As in like sooner.
I don't think it gives enough time for Eke to properly close in on Bruno Will. That's why he's took him 7 laps now to try and find a way past, and he's still not found a way past the Brazilian.
I think, I mean, I could probably agree with that, to be fair. I think DRS activation is that wee bit too far down that straight. I mean, if you maybe put like a couple of maybe 150 yards closer to the exit of 12, you probably have a better chance of an overtake into the hairpin. But I think having it that far down provides a slight increase in challenge.
Rigsy, sorry, it's kicking off between the Haas and the Red Bull here. DJ Danny and
Danny's
had a bit of bumper cars there down in turn 2.
And Danny's got a lunge up the inside Urban Unicorn there. Mildly sorry, just to cut across you for a change. Pushes Urban Unicorn onto the tarmac there on the exit of 5, but got the elbows out there, so he did. And Jamham benefits for his teammate gone wide. He takes P8. Danny's nursing a damaged car at this point, and if he's going to keep the likes of Jamham, Urban Unicorn, Churka, drivers who are really quick behind, it's just going to lose them time. And I don't know. I think Danny is just trying to make it to the pit window so he doesn't lose it in too much time, or his tyres don't give through too much wear in the second stint. But I mean, he is 4.6 seconds after his teammate, so maybe it's a team thing.
I don't know, see, but what I do know is I'm getting very, very frustrated as a spectator right now because Eke can't find a way past Bruno Will. You can't do it. It's getting me frustrated, Rigsy. This is why I don't like China.
And I'll reinstate my intent that there is overtaking opportunities present. It's just a matter of, I think it's just a matter of how much you can run that he gets to turn 12 or turn
dirty air
or turn 3.
Dirty air won't help him.
And
Danny then. Slipstream for Danny here. Oh, here we go! Here we go!
Up the inside, Jamham made the same move on a lap prior.
In a P number 7.
Danny's valiantly defending P7 as if it's the race lead on lap 9 of 28. He is nursing.
It's a shame he couldn't do that round Bahrain last week.
I know, I mean, I think he had he did really well in Bahrain.
Definitely.
It was just a stroke of bad luck that came with the good luck. They balanced to sell it. But definitely Bahrain pace did show us that he is at least going to be considered for a championship running. Like, I mean, it is only race to a 16 of the season, and technically, as it stands, it can be anybody's game. But he is definitely one for
Danny,
showing us that the pace. I would say, like, if he keeps his momentum and keeps his pace. I mean, also he's a bit of bad luck here in China with a damaged front wing, but he qualified P4 in intermediate conditions in China. He did say to us in the interview that he was quite content. He was really happy with his result, and they are jostling doing this straight into turn 1, and Urban Unicorn makes the move around the outside. Danny will have the inside for 2. It's a matter of keep it tight, and the side by side very close together. Their wheels nearly banged, but they didn't, obviously. But Urban Unicorn makes the move stick, and Danny has got a great exit. He's on the back of this half. He's running hot lap, and he's going to look up the inside again. I mean, I think turn 5 he's perfect placed. He has definitely proven to us
running outside
overtaking is possible. Run the outside. I think his car was experiencing a great deal of understeer.
If he didn't have front wing damage there, Riggsy, he could have challenged more easily there.
Oh no, definitely. I think like when the car's in a perfect condition, the move is on.
Well, Eke's quite close now, actually. Looks like. He's getting.
I mean, even I think. See, the thing is as well, like with this battle for the lead as well, like Bruno Will, he's not only is he defending really well, but his ERS management in comparison to Eke is quite well. And I've seen the McLaren Parondi coming into the pit.
Right, Parondi's in.
So
he's going for that undercut move. He's going for the undercut. What's happened now?
I mean, if we see it, and Danny's in the pits, Chuck is in the pits.
Why is Eke 1.3 seconds behind?
I actually have no idea what's happened there. Danny's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But on no days race, and João Pedro's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane there as well. I'll get 2 penalties.
All kicking off here in China. Dominic's having a pretty good display at the moment. He's in P number 5.
Dominic started P11, up 6th place, he's into P5, he's on the hard tyre, second at the hard tyre runners.
Sector 1 yellow flag.
Who's went off, who's had incidents. The racing points are wheel to wheel through the tight first sequence of turns there. DJ Danny's where his pits, he's out in P20 and he's got his wing repaired. He'll be looking to make a comeback. Eke must have made a mistake somewhere on the lap. Because he was a few tens behind.
Oh, Perondi!
And he's out of the DRS on. What's happened to Perondi? Perondi and Libiero. Perondi's just on his own. I don't know if he's had any contact there. What happened, Mauri?
I don't know. He just went off the circuit there, following Jamham.
Maybe no got to grips with his hard tyres yet at this moment. I mean, he's just no long pit them on, so it'll be a few laps trying to get a feel. And Bruno's in the pits, but Eke continues.
Bruno wills in. Eke's
talks. Bruno will makes his pit stop for Renault. He's in the pits, putting on the hard tyres on lap 12.28 in this race here in Shanghai.
He's going to have traffic though.
So Eke's. So where will he
can potentially have traffic, we said.
In this pack, the Mercedes is coming through, Hamjam's coming through, Libiero's coming through, and he just manages to make it out. He's managed to get clear air. Great work by the Renault team to get him out before the traffic in the Mercedes and the Alpha. But what's interesting to me is Eke's gone for he's gone for a longer run, and he's gone for an overcut. His teammate put in lap 10. Bruno put in lap 11. Well, we've seen him put in lap 12. He's got a 4.6 second gap to Toxic Fusion. And Buckley's deciding to stay on the mediums as well. Everybody else is everybody down to Hamjam is on hards. So they'll be making their pit stops quite soon, I would assume. As we're going to see Buckley and Dominic. Does Dominic make a move into the hairpin? He does not. He's still P4 at the moment. Does Eke come in? Eke's in. And Buckley's in as well, so their two are coming in. And Hamjam sits in P9 on the mediums at the moment. And Buckley is in. And McLaren versus Toro Rosso in the pit lane. Toxic Fusion is our new race leader on lap 13 of 28. Dominic is in P2 after starting P11. Urban Unicorn started P12 and he's up to 3rd. Gravity up 10 to P4. Domi up P14 to P5, and they're on the hard tyres. They've yet to pit though, but these are the 5 leaders in this race so far. I'm trying to look through the grid and see what else is really happening now. There is this battle for the lead between Toxic Fusion and Dominic. Dominic is just inside the 1 second delta for the DRS as he runs wide on the exit at 10. And he is about to come through the activation point just shy of the second. But his delta went down to 8 so I'm assuming he'll have DRS this time around, but I feel it'll be too far back to make a move into this hairpin.
Talking about
trying to really see what else. I was talking about Dominic. Dominic's no in range for an overtake on the Alpha for the lead. Toxic Fusion and Dominic are running similar ERS. They're sitting at Toxic on 44 and Dominic's on 38, so they're running it quite similar. Urban Unicorn and Gravity, they're for P3 and P4. Dom in P5. Bruno is the net race leader. He's made his pit stop with his own hards to the end. Eke is 1.1 adrift, and Perondi pitting earlier has actually lost time. I think it'll probably be due to the fact that due to the traffic. McLaren calling him in early and seeing if they can get the undercut to work, but didn't they consider the element of traffic? Got too caught up in the traffic, ran wide at turn 10, and lost all real momentum that he had to overtake his teammate and overtake Bruno for the lead. And I think he's finding himself further adrift. 3 seconds shy of Bruno, considering the intervals.
Be interesting to see if Domi will defend from Bruno Will, or if he will give up the position.
I mean, if I was Domi, this is for possession, technically. Like, he's not got any blue flags, he's no obligated to move over. But, I mean, I think with the fact that he is on 13 lap hards, I don't think he'll put up much resistance for P5. Like, I think he's just going to be like, right, these guys aren't really in my race. I'm running P5, I'm still to pit, they're on to the end. If they make a move, I'll let them have it, I'll defend it.
One on span again, Ronald's got no front wing. Virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car, I thought that was the full hang there. Didn't you see the virtual? I was getting my hopes up and I'm like, oh, here we go. But this virtual safety car is out, and Urban Unicorn and Gravity use this as their time to pit. And they're not obligated to follow the safety car speed delta, whereas everybody else on the track is. It's 40% off the racing speed, or something like that. It's either 40 or 60, it's one of the two. I would assume it's 60.
That is great timing from Urban Unicorn right there. That is insane timing from Urban Unicorn.
Urban Unicorn and Gravity have really benefited. Gravity's actually lost out to some traffic, and he's got his teammates side by side. Gravity gives his teammate João Pedro a nudge, but João Pedro's got the inside. The two Williams going side by side through turn 2, turn 3, and Gravity on the outside there will have the inside for this weekend car 4, and the same for 5. Will João Pedro make a move on the outside? He doesn't outbreak his, oh, but he is. I thought he was going to make the move there. He did outbreak his a bit, but it kinda wasn't enough there for João Pedro, the Brazilian, to get a move on his teammate Gravity on P10, and he needed that. He needed that.
Dominic
move
DRS,
because he's on medium.
here we go. Could this be the first overtake of the race?
It feels so long since the last one, even though we just had some battling there, from what I've seen. But Dominic is looking, and they're both coming in.
Both in.
They're both coming in.
Guys in the pit lane.
Toxic Fusion and Dominic into the pits, onto the medium tyres for the final stint. Eke has really closed the gap to Bruno. Eke's finished himself back into ERS range on the Renault. It'll just be a matter of keeping it there. And Parodi is catching up as well. He's cut half a second to his teammate. It was 2 seconds about a lap or 2 laps ago. It's 1.5 on lap 16. Buckley's made his stop there, and he's P4. Toxic Fusion and Toxic Fusion and Dominic. I mean, yeah, like that's interesting. Libero puts the fastest lap of the race under 134. A 134 on mediums and P16, but what's interesting here at Maldi is, like I'm looking at the intervals. Toxic Fusion and Dominic, P5 and 6 on mediums, just at the pits. They've got Buckley right there, and 5 seconds down the road is the battle for the lead. I wouldn't have cutting them out. I think they have a real chance at getting a podium.
China, Rigsy. I'm sorry, but just look at Eke now. Look at Eke now. This is the problem. This is the problem. Look, can't get to him. Just can't get close. It's annoying. It's annoying, Rigsy. It's annoying me.
Eke's gonna need a good run out that long sweeping right hander. He needs to make sure that the car isn't having too much. Was it?
He needs, Rigsy, like, do you know that, like, the boost that you can get Like, do you know the boost on GT8 you can get? He needs that right now to just get a bit closer.
It definitely needs to. He is in DRS range, but he needs to be right on that rear wing. And the boost would probably send him by him on that straight quite easily. The GTA boost is quite powerful. But
I mean, you can tell I love China, can't you, Rixie?
I mean, you have nothing but positivity for your RS, nothing but positive comments. But I mean, I think what Maldi needs to do, what Eke needs to do, is make sure that his car isn't experiencing too much understeer on that long right-hander. Because when you're trying to kind of keep the car to the right, and you've got that wee bit of understeer for his dirty air, I think that's what his issue is. He's maybe getting too much dirty air through that sweeping right, and it's pushing him back that couple of tenths. And that's where he's losing out, is the fact that he's getting that understeer. And Ron Har's retired for the session. He was kind of running his head. And Danny spun. He spun on the exit at 12 there, seen the Red Bull going off on the map there. But
is he going to be safety car?
But Ron Har is retired for this race. Of the Unicorn. As in clear air at the minute, he's P7. I mean, where is
Echo's quite close now,
cars?
Rigsy. Could we see our first overtake in 18 laps? Danny Span.
I don't know what's happening with Danny, but he's kind of had a...
There you go, innit?
As he's coming out the pits, he's coming in. But while Danny's coming out the pits for Red Bull, we'll see what's happening here with this battle for the lead. Eke is closer than he has been in some time. It's just a matter of keeping it in this 310, 410 range through this sweeping right, and I would feel that he has a real chance. But
half a 10. You need half a 10 to get through on this straight, Riggs, with the DRS.
What his issue is there as well, not only is he trying to focus on overtaking, he's going to have to focus on his defence, because he's got his teammate right there as well. So it's a matter of Eke being in the middle and have to be cautious on the front as well as on the back. But I think at the same time, like, Bruno Will is doing exceptionally well in terms of ERS management. He's deploying it at exactly the right time. He must be chucking up into hot lap on the exit at 12 so that Eke doesn't have a look into that hairpin. But Eke will have DRS here again. He is up in the overtake and he immediately just turns it back down to no ERS dispersal there. So I don't know. I really don't know at this point. He is looking punchier, he is looking quicker, but Bruno Will is just managing it exceptionally well. And Parondi there as well, he's actually the worst in terms of ERS management at the minute. He's only sitting on 30% compared to his teammate on 44, and Bruno Will is on 62. Don't know if I was going to say 40 something there, but it's 62, 63 now. So I'm going to sit on Bruno now and just going to see what his ERS management is like through here. He is on overtake in this wee straight here, chucks it back into low, keeps it in low through turn 11 into turn 12, sweeping right-hander, keeps it in low, all the way round, delicate use of the throttle, doesn't experience too much understeer, but he takes a wee bit of curb on the exit and he's immediately back up to overtake. But Eke isn't close enough, so I'll not expect a move. So we'll not expect a move into the hairpin, but his teammate Parondi kind of just jerking out there out of the slipstream to a wee look and see if there's a wee gap on the inside of 14, but there is not this time around. Let's see what else is happening in the field. The battle for... It's a wee bit of a train forming for P8, Maldi. Mercury in P8 at the minute. He's got Jal Pedro, Domi, Gravity, Jam, Shurka, all sitting there for company. So there could be a wee battle for the final end of the bottom end of the points between 6 drivers. So we need to keep an eye on that battle this time round. I'm going to keep an eye on the deltas. And Eke seems to close up in the first sector, lose it on the second, and lose it in the third, or he gains at the wrong time in the third. But Perondi there, I think having Perondi there as his teammate there, as they really did Eke any favours either, because he has to be cautious about how he attacks Bruno Will and hope that Perondi isn't trying to make a move on him. But at the same time, would you put team orders in and say, Perondi, right, go have a go past your teammate and have a go at it?
No,
I don't really know
that's
what to do at this
cheating.
stage. I mean,
That's cheating.
team orders only really, they only really treated well. There's no really, you don't really get a great response when you see team orders being implemented. But at the same time, you can understand why they're there. And I don't know, like, then there's yellow flags in sector 1. That's Danny.
Oh, Danny
again.
and oh my dear God!
And Danny
Jam Hammond
just
Catter there,
isn't he
that was,
looking.
that was a bit of contact down there.
Ham Jam and Carter are in P16 and 17
Don't
at the
take
minute.
far.
Ham will have DRS. A safety car
No
would
safety car,
really
what's that?
throw. Safety car would really throw a spanner into the works so late on in the race. It would be a matter of, do you stay out for track position? Do you come in for fresh rubber? Yellow flags in sector 2. That's Danny again, and he's just spun on the curbs at turn 9 and getting himself into. He will be getting lapped in due course because the leaders are just coming through
Wow.
that sequence of corners. They know.
That's
He
quite
had a real
funny,
fall for
actually.
grace. Had a real fall for
Yeah, he
grace
had
this
he
time
had
when
an absolutely incredible performance in Bahrain, but here in China, it's very different. It's a very different story.
it's kind of flipped on its head. But Danny will be getting lapped by the leaders on this straight. Or maybe no, maybe. Oh, he is getting out of the way. But Eke and Parondi just no, they're just not close enough to make a move stick. But let's see if Buckley and Dominic will have any action
just
between the pair of
making,
them, which they do not.
Making slight gains at the moment.
Toxic Fusion is making us. He's kind of on a charge at the minute. He has like the top three of kind of the gaps between the top three have been quite similar. They've been consistently sitting at half a second and half a second between the top three. And while this has all been happening, Toxic Fusion's just been closing in, taking advantage of the clear air that he's got just to run at his aim pace and run at a maximum and try and close this gap down. He is on softer rubber, he's on fresher rubber, so I think he could be in for a shout if he keeps these laps coming in for the final, for the next few laps. If he keeps his kind of lap times a few tenths shorter than the top three, then I would say he's in the mix. But I don't know if it's a matter of he'll just get there, or he'll get there and overtake. We'll need to kind of keep an eye on him and see what happens with Toxic Fusion. He is definitely on the button now. He didn't gain too much that sector there, he only gained about a tenth or two, if that. But let's see if there's going to be any gains between the leaders. Eke, DRS is open, he's got his ERS to overtake. He gains it on the braking, but Bruno Will is just doing everything in his power to defend it. And he has done a really exceptional job of that so far. Let's see where else is happening in the field. Not too much. Kind of gaps are a bit more sporadic now than they were.
Running outside,
but
Richie,
Eke's
here we
running
go.
outside.
Come on, Eke. Come on, please.
Eke's running outside of Bruno Will. Bruno Will's having the inside there. But Eke is close. If he gets great traction out of this turn here, he will have a run into turn 5. But his teammate Perondi's right there too as well, so Eke defends for his teammate. Perondi does look up a break and tries to look run the outside, but doesn't see the opportunity there. I don't know. I don't really know how
What
Eke
is
got
going
so
on? I thought you
close.
said there was overtaking opportunities. What are you talking
There is
about?
overtaking opportunities. It's just
There's
I mean,
not.
I think it's just a matter of, and Burundi runs wide there, but I think it's just a matter of getting a run. I mean, you need to absolutely nail your run at this turn 12, this sweeping right-hander, and Eke, he just loses out by a tenth or two, and I don't know if it's any fault of his own, but there is like like an extreme level of dirty air when you're following somebody through that, and that's what spaces them out coming out of the straight. And TMR Unico has joined. I have no idea if that's a driver or
That's not a driver.
or whoever, but Ike does gain obviously in the braking zones. But I don't know what he done last time out to get himself so close to Bruno into turn 1. I'm going to see what they're like in terms of.
Look out for Fusion. Look out for Fusion. He's catching quickly.
I'm just looking through to see penalties. McLaren's are on 1 warning each. Bruno's got none. Toxic Fusion's bringing the gap down. It was 3.1, it is now 2.6, so it's half a second in that last lap there as well. ERS is, and he'll have the race leaders in sight as DJ Danny sets the fastest lap. That'll probably be his what you call it? I'm trying to think of the phrase. I'll say silver lining. It definitely wasn't that phrase I was thinking of, but I'll say it's his silver lining for this race. Like, I mean, it kind of completely went upside down for him, but I mean the fastest lap would probably be like a soft comfort. That's what I was thinking of, a soft comfort for him. But I think now the Toxic Fusion still unclear there. Seeing now that he's got the race leaders in his sights, I think that will give him that extra bit of determination, and it might kind of tap into an extra couple of tenths in speed. Like, see, like when you're following somebody and you kind of know that there's a real opportunity there for a move, or a real, like, he's getting a real sniff for the podium. So I think maybe if that's running in his mind, that'll push him closer to that. He is running really well on the medium tyres. He's managed to get past Buckley, which some Dominic hasn't been able to do. Talk to Fusion and Dominic.
Here we go, Eke's closer than he was at any time in the Grand Prix rig. Here we go, Eke. Bruno goes defensive, Eke around the outside.
Makes it stick.
Wow.
Eke runs wide though. And I'm riding on Bobby Perron as Bruno Will looks to have the inside for turn 3, but Eke was already there, put his McLaren right on the racing line. But at the 25th time we asking, I'll say that simply because it's lap 25, the 25th time we're asking, Eke finally makes the move. Finally makes the move on Bruno. Bruno was defending very valiantly, very fairly, very crisply. But he makes it stick. And it's up to Bruno, as we see DJ Danny taking a 10-second time penalty there for exceeding track limits. But the question is, will Bruno take the place back before the checker flag? Well, we've got 3 laps to find out. See yellow flags in sector 1, and that's Danny again. I'll need more than a one hand to count how many times he's spun in this race. But now I think that Bruno is, as Bruno is the chaser, Bruno's going to experience what Eke experienced for the majority of this race. As we see yellow flags in 1 and 2, I think that's just for Danny. But Perondi is still third, and he's kind of fallen back a wee bit. But Toxic Fusion is cutting the gap. It was 2.6. It's now, well, it was 2.1 a second ago, but it's 2.5 now. It's kind of back to what it was basically. But I mean, if there's one thing I want to point out, Maldy, like Toxic Fusion and Dominic were on the same piece of tarmac at their pit stops, and Toxic Fusion made work of Buckley and go past, but Dominic struggled. Does Dominic normally run well at this track? Because I wasn't here for the race in China if he did.
I don't think Dominic is very good at China.
Because he kind of put a lot of confidence into his 1 lap run in qualifying and only got him 11th. Well, don't get me wrong, he's done really well to get himself to P6. But He's on softer rubber than Buckley, but he's not able to make work of Buckley. Buckley's done really well to stay in P5 though. Like I'll give him, I'll sing his praises for that. But Dominic hasn't really made inroads on the Toro Rosso, and Toxic Fusion has definitely benefited out of the two on the medium tyres when pitted at the same. So maybe this could just be one of Dominic's bogey tracks as we see DJ Danny retiring. He's calling it a day after that, retiring in the pit lane. Not the race that he would have hoped for, but there's always the next race. I'm assuming we're going to Baku.
We are going to Azerbaijan. Yes, one of my favourite tracks on my calendar.
Oh, Baku can do one. I don't really like it. I hate it. I hate it in every shape and every form. Every fibre of my being.
I've been negative about China. You can be negative about Azerbaijan.
I just don't see the point in it in a track. I just hate it so much. I've just like, I mean, we were sitting discussing about Russia earlier and how you felt Russia was a better track, and I was like, oh, Russia's not really my fancy. See if there's anything that's no my fancy, it's Baku. Baku can just...
Nah, Baku is amazing for me, in my opinion.
I mean, if I was to sit and tell you how I felt about Baku, you would need the wee button that beeps out all the words that I use for it, because there's nothing good I can say about it. I just hate it. And, I mean, you never know. Maybe it'll provide an entertaining race, you never know. But that is Monday the 9th.
It always does.
Well, we hope to have you viewers here Monday the 9th.
As well, think about it, Baku is a good track for real life.
No, definitely, I'll kind of give you that. 2017 was a good, 2018 was alright. I can't remember last year's though, but hopefully 2020 is the same. Hopefully it is a good race. But that's Monday 9th of March, 7 PM UK time. Yes. Be sure to tune in. But to put the advertising to the side, we're about to start, well, we have started, the final lap of this race. Maldi, is Eke going to hold the lead?
I think he will. I'm over this race. I'm waiting for Azerbaijan now. I'm ready. Because this race has disappointed me as a spectator. Because of that dirty air out of turn 13. Or 12, I don't know the corner name. But, the corner number rather. But, yeah, Riggsy, it's just really, I wouldn't say it bored me. I just said it's very, just not been a very, it's been a lacklustre race. Which I was expecting for the Chinese Grand Prix, but I wasn't expecting it to be this lacklustre. Talking of lacklustre, Cherka has had an actual dismal race tonight.
And Convey 4
all these people
has joined this race. I've no idea who that is. I don't know if that's just a random person again.
But it looks like Eke Riggsy then for the second race in a row is going to be getting the victory, but is it going to be Bruno Wills' final opportunity here in China? DRS, is he going to do anything?
He looks too far back. I doubt he's going to go for a lunge though.
Dive.
I doubt he's going for it. He's going to go for his big dive. Oh, doesn't he?
No.
He had a look there on board with Eke. I seen Bruno looking to the inside, but Eke covered it off well through the final turn. Checkered flag is waving for McLaren. And for Eke,
wins the Chinese Grand Prix. Second is Bruno World. Third is Parandi. Fourth is Fusion. Fifth is going to be Buckley. That's a good result from him. Sixth is going to be Dominic. Quite disappointing actually for the Red Bull. Urban Unicorn is seventh. Yao Pedro is eighth. That's quite a disappointing result actually from the Williams, but that is due to his lag out. And he's actually down to P11, so he had a lot of penalties there. Yeah, he's had a lot of penalties. 13th will be Libero, but will he get position up? No, he won't. 14th will be Coyle. 15th, Riggsy is going to be Kata in his Renault. Or is it?
Kata has the line into the final turn here for the 28th time in this race and crossed the line. 15th and 16th. Cherka is a...
And Cherka will finish 17th, I believe. Yes, 17th. Well then, Riggsy, that concludes Quite a dismal Chinese Grand Prix, but let's see what the podium has to offer here in Shanghai.
The podium celebrations there. McLaren 1-3, Renault 2. Eke takes his second win in as many races in season 16. Maximum points on the board. It's kind of a dream step for him.
Definitely trying to go for that championship. But there's still many races remaining, Riggsy. So anything can happen in Formula 1.
But we will conclude our race there. We're going to get the final race results up there for you as we've seen the podium celebrations there. Eke was our race winner here in Shanghai. Bruno will, after the collision with Danny last time out in Bahrain, he takes second place for the Renault team, 18 points on the board. Parondi, solid drive there for the McLaren there, McLaren 1-3. Toxic Fusion in P4, done really well in the mediums, couldn't quite catch the leading pack. Buckley in P5, solid drive for him. Dominic, P11 to P6, is a solid result for the Red Bull driver in season 15 champion. Urban Unicorn in P7 in the Haas. Domi P19 to P8, solid drive for the Polish driver there. Gravity P9, Mercury P17 to P10, rounds out the top 10, final points there. João Pedro, Liviero, Caio. Jamham, João Pedro, Liviero, Caio, Tia Marcata, Ham Jam, and Chaka are your remaining drivers that crossed the line. DJ Danny and Ron Hart are our retirements for Shanghai, and we are being joined. Well, we're being joined by the race winner, Eke,
just by Eke,
just now.
Because Parodi can only speak Portuguese, and I think Bruno Will does not have a mic, or he's the same. So we're just going to interview Eke tonight and then conclude nice and early for the Chinese Grand Prix. Eke, make sure we're included. I'm going to give you a quick question, and then we will wrap things up for this evening's Chinese Grand Prix. Eke, you another victory, maximum points on the board so far. Great result. Just one question I want to ask you really. How frustrating was it that you couldn't get past Bruno Will? But you must have been very happy that you finally got the overtake done.
I mean, the pace was very equal, so it was very hard to get past him. Some parts I was quicker, some parts he was quicker, so it was just frustrating there, yeah. I ended up getting close enough for the straight, so got the overtake done. But I was scared that they would get back me as well, because he seemed very quick on straight line.
Okay. Thank you, Eke. Good result this evening, and well done on your victory. Unfortunately, Parondi and Bruno Will can't be with us, so we're going to be wrapping things up quite quickly here this evening due to that. Riggsy, any final words you've got before we conclude things for the Chinese Grand Prix?
Monday, the 9th of March, we'll be here for Azerbaijan. Just get an advertisement out, Maldi.
Thank you, Riggsy. Thank you, Riggsy, for joining me. Well done to all drivers that have competed here this evening and all drivers that have finished the race. Thank you. We will see you next week then, the 9th of March, as Riggsy said. We'll see you next week for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for round 3 at the Baku City Circuit, and we could be expecting some very special action in Baku. So we'll see you next week for Azerbaijan.